Hey guys, welcome back to another clip of Schach-manuel-lernen. Today with the second round of the summer season. We had an away game against Fribourg and I played on the board number 3. So the opening was Sicilian and d4 is the Mora gambit. So you capture c3 and then main line is kind of capturing. Black wins a pawn, but is behind in development, and that's why it's a gambit. However, I didn't want it to have this gambit. That's why I played knight f6. And after e5, knight to d5, capture e6, we have now suddenly transformed into a Alapin opening. I had that already in the last round of the Berner Stadtmeisterschaft, so it was not too long time ago that I played this position. Knight c3, capture, and then I played d6. Different options, queen c7 is an option, and then bishop d2, d6, f4, bishop e7, for instance. After d6, he played knight f3, knight c6. We both attacking and guarding this pawn. Bishop f4, then queen a5, attacks this pawn, and at the same time attacks this pawn as well. Then white decided queen d2, which is best move. According to engine here, it's a bit the boring play, like you just capture, and then bishop d7 is equal position. I didn't want it to trade that many pieces, that's why I played d5, with the idea of having this back pawn. So bishop d3, b6, short castle, bishop a6, because I wanted to trade these bishops off the board, because my pawns, the blocked ones in the center, are on white squares. That's why I want to trade off my bad bishop. And now comes the first mistake in the game. It's rook fc1. Why is it the mistake? It allows me to play bishop, like bishop capturing first, and then bishop a3, and it wins a tempi. Like here, he can't move the bishop away, because otherwise his rook is hanging. That's why he decided to play the rook. But bishop a3, I can develop a piece and attack him. And after rook c2, I didn't castle immediately, because the problem by castling is if he plays knight to g5, he's threatening suddenly a checkmate. Then you need to play something like g6, and then you have here some holes. That's why I played first h6, that this knight g5 is not possible and so on. Bishop c1, take a note, c4 is not an option due to this fork. So that's why bishop c1, he wanted to trade his bad bishop. And I was thinking about if I should retreat my bishop. But then I thought I castle, and if he captures, I just give you a short explanation, then this pawn suddenly is pinned. So now we have this threat again. And he's not allowed to capture, because otherwise he will lose his queen. That's why he played knight d2, which is another small inaccuracy. Then I played rook c8, and here he should have played knight b3 without capturing my bishop. Queen a4, f4, some standard moves. From the white perspective, I also would have captured the bishop, to be honest, because otherwise you just have these blocked pieces and you want to free yourself a bit. But the problem is now we have this pin here, as I mentioned before. That's why he played knight b3. And we will see now why this is a mistake. Best move would have been rook b1, queen a4, rook b3, rook c7, and then, yeah, my idea is to play something like this, playing against this pawn, all this kind of stuff. So he played knight b3, and then rook c7, rook c1, rook c8, h3, makes a bit luft for the back rank. And here, you can pause the video if you want to find it by yourself. Here, the idea is not that easy. Like, you would like to play knight to b4, but it's not possible because the rook is twice attacked and twice defended. So this one is not working at the moment because he would just lose a knight. So you need to prepare knight b4, and the move that does that, which I played in the game, is a5. a5 is a really strong move because you plan to play a4 to push the knight away, and then we have this knight to b4. Yeah, he played queen b5. He doesn't really have good moves anymore, because let's say if he plays queen d2, for instance, I can play a4, he has to go knight a1, and this position is not really funny to play, to be honest. You have to calculate some stuff, like maybe this is also an option. Not capturing here, of course, like capturing here. And then when you okay. Like if you would capture like that, then you could capture here. But of course your queen can capture, so maybe after queen e2 it would be possible. Something like this. And so you always have to calculate as a white perspective knight b4. So we played with a more active move like queen to b5. And queen to b5 still allows the nice tactical way that you win the game with knight b4. So the problem is, you attack the rook. If you move the rook somewhere, I can just capture. That's one option. Or I can capture here. It would have been the most resistant play. Like if he would have played, let's say, rook d2. I also calculated that. But after capturing here, capture here. And this is, yeah, winning for me because I won 2 pawns. The other option here would have been rook e2, but then it's basically the same. Like on rook d2, I just show this variation as the last. There's also an option that you capture here, which is better. Then you just lose 1 pawn as white perspective. But after this move, you're forced to trade the queens. And yeah, the knight here is just too strong because he really protects and attacks everything. And you have this passed pawn. So this is long term as well winning. But it's still a lot to play for, and it's 1 pawn. He played c takes b4, then capture, capture, capture. And yeah, here he would have been more resistant after this, this, and this. That would have been an option, but it's also at the end winning for black. How the game ended was quite fast because he captured on a5, I captured. Then he played knight c5 with the same idea, like this, this, and this. But here he missed the checkmating idea for black. and after queen c1 he resigned. Why? Because it's a forced checkmate. Like, if he plays this, he has to trade the queens, and this is just completely lost. If he decides to keep the queens, then it's a checkmate. Like, queen captures here and a checkmate. So after queen c1 he resigned, and was a good victory for me. I was all the time a bit better during the game, and this mistake by knight b3, which allowing a5, was the key point at this game. So yeah, with this interesting game, I wish you a wonderful weekend, stay healthy, and see you soon, guys.